What makes people successful? So I've had the privilege of interviewing a number of people over the years. And through some of my work in leadership training and also through my work around community building in the tech ecosystem. And I've noticed a pattern. So there are a number of qualities that people share, and this cuts across different sectors and different fields of expertise. And I put it together in a framework, which I call the peer framework. So what does that mean? So the peer framework, this is what the peer framework stands for. P for priorities, E for education, the second E for enablement, and R for relationships. Now, the priorities. So priorities, I mean, obviously from the name, it's what people are focused on in their lives. So it's important to be clear on the priorities because your priorities are what drive you at any point in your career and at any point in how you develop yourself and your business. And it's tied to your core values. And for others, it's tied to what it is they are most interested in, what drives them in life. It's how they create their targets. It's how they have their SMART goals. And people who have the SMART goals, they know where they're going. And just as importantly, they know how to share that vision with others. So I think most of us know about Elon Musk. And most of us, whether or not we know that much about him personally, most of us know that he wants to go to Mars. Even if you haven't the faintest idea what he does on a day-to-day basis, he is pretty good at letting us know his vision for his business, his vision for his life. And it's very important for you to also be very focused as what you want to accomplish because it makes it much easier to convince other people to come along with you for the ride. Now, education. Now, people who are successful place a huge importance on education. And I'm not talking about just formal education. It's great if you have MBAs or PhDs, but a lot of it has to do with even informal aspects of education, reading books, learning from others, observing those around you, because people who observe those around from them and learn from successful people also have a good chance of being successful as well. The most important aspect of the education point is actually more around having a growth mindset. And people who are successful have a genuine love of learning. Now, enablement. So when we talk about enablement, we tend to think primarily about the tools that support successful businesses. And this is very important. So team leaders who want to scale their business, who want to grow their teams, typically have to leverage technology in order to do so at the highest levels. However, it's not just about technology. You have to have a culture that supports innovation. And so an environment that supports change is just as critical as the technology itself that you're using to take your business to the next level. I think probably the easiest example of this that I always see in large organizations, and if you've ever worked for a large multinational or a large company, you can also tell me in the chat if you've ever seen this scenario. But at the start of the year, with a lot of fanfare, they launch some new software in the organization. Everybody has to use it. They spend countless hours and over a series of weeks training different people on the different type, this new software that they're trying to get everyone to use the organization. And then 6 to 9 months later, suddenly they're scrapping everything. They literally spent thousands of dollars to bring this software into the organization. And less than a year later, it's not there anymore. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced, but it happens with an alarming degree of frequency in a lot of large organizations. And part of the reason for that is the software itself, while probably very great, it does excellent work, it's technically very sound, but they don't connect it to what people are trying to do at work. For a lot of people, this new software that's supposed to help their lives is a nuisance because it's something that they suddenly have to learn. It's something that changes the way they work on a regular basis. A lot of the time, the organization doesn't spend the time to actually go through and explain why the software is helpful to them, how it actually helps them do their work more efficiently. And because of that disconnect, a lot of times, even the best technology will not save you. And then, of course, we have relationships. Now, everyone knows that business is often about relationships, as is with life. You have to have good relationships with your team members and stakeholders in order to get the most out of them. People who know how to motivate others have a genuine advantage in their business, in leading teams. Emotional intelligence plays a major role in how successful you are from a professional standpoint, and also in your personal life. So why am I talking about all this stuff? I mean, it's all well and good, but what does this have to do with achieving your goals in Q4? So what I've realized is that the peer framework shows that there are elements to success. You don't just show up one day and are successful. So for change in an organization to be sustainable, stakeholders need to be invested in the outcome. Remember how on day one, we were talking about the aspirations, what that means to you. That is part of what you use to get that investment in the outcome. You have to understand what success means to your people as well. Address what people do and why they do it, because you have to recognize that employee engagement affects productivity. So I'll repeat that again. Employee engagement affects productivity, and that affects the overall performance of your team. It's one of the reasons why I'm pretty much at this intersection in my work, because while a lot of my professional background is around process improvements, it's around the processes you use, around the tools you use, it's how you can work more efficiently. But in the end, you truly realize that in order to be successful, people have to feel that they are connected to this work in some way. They work more efficiently when they are connected in some way to this work.